some quick tricks for Jimi Hendrix techniques. These can be applied both to electric and acoustic because we're not really bending too much, so you can get away with it. Actually, we're not bending at all. So going off my lesson when I was talking about finding those chord shapes on the 5th and 6th string, basically the whole concept works is when I was playing the D, so we're on the 5th string, 5th fret, that D shape, muted, 5, 7, 7, 7, and then optional 5. You can find the major pentatonic shape by finding the root. So if we're looking for the D on the 6th string, we know that from the last lesson the root, that D is on the 10th fret, bottom string. And consequently the same notes are on the bottom string, the low E, are on the top E string, so the other D, root, is here. And the major pentatonic shape for the D chord would be 7, 10, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. And you probably, if you've looked at the minor pentatonic before, it's the same shape. Well, it is, but we're focusing on the D root instead of the minor root. So if we were to play the major pentatonic, we would start on the D and go to the next D, and then one more up we go. So what I was doing at the beginning was I would play that D shape, and then I would come up here and bar the 7th fret. So I'm not really paying attention to the bottom string, but barring on the 5th, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. Mostly just the 5th, 4th, and 3rd string, I'll bar these 3. And I can play a D, and then I can mess around in the major pentatonic shapes here by hammering on all those notes. Those are all good sounding notes. So if I'm playing a D, I can mess around with it and come up here and bar the D major pentatonic and get those chord notes in, and then I can hammer on in the pentatonic to make it sound kind of Hendrixy, and he's always doing the yeah, so in the example I was going, so really all I'm doing is just, and I'm just doing it randomly, and you kind of get a feel for it the more you practice. So, and you can also, when you're playing the D chord, you can add another flare with your pinky right here on this G. When I'm talking the G, the note. So on the B string or the 2nd string, you can hammer on with your pinky, and that's kind of a cool flare. So if we put it all together, we'd go. And then I'm going, so on that second part I'm going to an A. And same thing as this, A. If we do the same approach to the last lesson, we go up to the 5th string, find the root, our A, we have that major chord shape, and we can also play it like Hendrix played it, where you put your thumb on the low string, mute this guy, 4th string, 7th fret, 3rd string, 6th fret, 5th string, or 5th fret, 2nd string. And we can kind of take that same approach with the hammer-on here, but the hammer-ons here will be all of these 3 notes on the 7th fret. They also all fall in that D pentatonic shape. Because we're in the key D, we can, and if you think about it, we're just adding extra notes to the A shape as well, so it still works as A. Sorry if that's a little confusing, but long story short, we can hammer on these notes, and it sounds good. And you can even catch this string with your pointer finger. So all together, throwing everything, and we can play the D. Put that little accent in there, and then the major pentatonic. And go to the A, and hammer on. When I'm doing songs and stuff, when I'm writing my own songs, I like to put those little flares in there, and it gives you a unique sound rather than just playing. And then you can kind of feel it around and mess around and see what sounds good for you. But so again, that D shape is 10, 7, 10, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 9, 7, 10, 7. So like we could even just play a D and go. And go to that. And go back to that D pentatonic shape. Yeah, can mess around with that. It's fun to kind of experiment with see what sounds good. And so sometimes I'll just mess around with chords and see what I can throw in with my pinky to give the chord a different sort of color. So yeah, if you check out my SoundCloud account, I'm working on this new song where I kind of incorporate these ideas where sounds like I'm a little out of tune now, but yeah, so hope you have fun with that, and until next time.